So you've been wanting to research companies, but you don't necessarily have the time to do it yourself, or you don't know how to do it yourself. In this series of videos, I'm going to be going step by step through my entire process from beginning to end on how I find companies, what I look for when I do my initial research on the companies. If they pass my initial research, how do I value and evaluate them after reading their financial statement? I will go step by step, including valuations when we get to that point, in how to evaluate companies. My name is Jason Rivera, and welcome to Value Investing Journey Case Studies. Hey, Jason here. Today, I want to talk about case studies. So what's next? We just finished up the entire case study. I showed you my step-by-step process, everything I do to evaluate a company. So what's next? Before we get to that, let me step back a little bit and tell you what you've learned so far by following along this case study. You've learned how I search and find companies to do further research on. You've learned the criteria I use to select these on a preliminary basis for further research or to discard these companies fast. We've read multiple financial reports. I showed you exactly what I do in the financial reports, the stuff I look for, the stuff that I deem or look for as red flags, the financial statements, the management shareholder letter, and the management kind of tone, what I think of that, all these kind of things. We went through the footnotes in the financial statement, which most people hate doing. I explained everything in the footnotes, what it meant, what certain things can mean, because there are nuances to certain things. There are a lot of gray areas in accounting rules and regulations. After that, we looked for news on Google after the company released its most recent financial report. Then we valued the company in the live valuation webinar. So what's next? I'm going to continue looking at companies. However, I probably won't for a little while do kind of ongoing case study series again, or at least on a company until I find another company. I'm not going to waste your time because at this point, you've seen my entire process. All you have to do is watch the past videos. Frankly, to save myself some time, because that takes an enormous amount of time to make videos for every single section of every single company I look at. I'm not going to do it until I find another company to research. So until then, I'm putting training videos in here and getting ready for the next free live training video webinar, which will be on owner's earnings. We did 23 different valuations in last live training webinar. Next one, we ran out of time to do owner's earnings. So next time we're going to do owner's earnings. We're going to do that on the next live training webinar. So the next kind of weeks, I guess, because the next training webinar is sometime in November. So probably a couple weeks from now, a week or two from now, is when the next live training webinar is. And again, this will be free like the last one. There will be no pitching. This will be 100% geared towards giving you a ton of value and teaching you about owner's earnings in this case. Last time was all about an hour and 44 minutes about teaching you different valuation techniques. This is all about valuation in terms of owner's earnings. So we're going to kind of ramp up, and I'm going to do some sessions on owner's earnings starting next week. Explain to you what it is, explain to you what we're looking for when we calculate owner's earnings, and then during the live valuation webinar, we'll actually calculate it. Tell you where a lot of my students stumble, so you don't have to, where a lot of frustration comes from, kind of how to get out of the minutia of everything, because there's a lot of minutia, frankly, involved in owner's earnings. Strip out a lot of the complexity of owner's earnings and make it easily usable for you in a real world sense to evaluate the real world businesses, to be honest. So that's what we're doing next. We'll start that next week. We'll start going over owner's earnings. And then I don't remember the exact date, but 2 or 3 weeks from now, I think is the next free valuation webinar. In the meantime, below this, if you want to see the last valuation webinar, the owner's earnings webinar is coming up, the last valuation webinar, you can get that access for free to that below. All you have to do is put in your first name, email address, that's it, and you'll be sent the link for the again, hour and 44-minute valuation webinar training where you learn 23 different valuations in an hour, 44 minutes. That's it. Again, I'm going to continue doing this kind of stuff. I'm going to continue teaching. I'm going to continue providing value, continue educating you, because frankly, I wish I would have had somebody there when I was learning this kind of stuff, so I wouldn't have spent and wasted literally years of time and massive frustration on this kind of stuff, because it is, especially owner's earnings. Valuation techniques are pretty straightforward once you learn them and learn the kind of the different nuances that go in them. But owner's earnings is incredibly, or can be incredibly complex. There are only a handful of other people I know that even talk about owner's earnings on their websites or on their blogs or articles or shareholder letters at all. So there's frankly not much information out there about it. You'll get a ton of education, you'll get a ton of value, learn how to calculate this for yourself in a real world sense so you can evaluate real world businesses. I'm doing it again to give you a ton of value and help educate you, help your value investing journey, help your personal value investing journey go faster and with a lot less frustration than mine did. So until next time, I will see you here next week this time for first video or first talk on owner's earnings. Until then, again, if you want the valuation webinar, 145 minutes, we go over 23 different valuation techniques. I can show you exactly how to do them, exactly kind of the thought process going through them, why do them certain ways. You get that for free. Input your name, or go to the link below and input your name, first name and email address, and that's it for free. You'll get that video. So other than that, I will see you next time. As always, comment, question, concerns, let me know below. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, love, share, subscribe, and hit the bell so you're notified anytime we release a new video, and release new videos constantly. We're up around 450 videos at this point, releasing 2 to 3 videos every week. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'll see you next week. Until then, enjoy the rest of the week's blog posts on the blog and social media and YouTube and the podcast, wherever you're watching or listening. And I'll see you next week for the first case study on owner's earnings. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.